Welcome everybody to Let's Cook, Let's Talk. I'm your host, Nicole, Lady Extreme Carter. I am so excited you're here with us today. We have a special guest, national artist, Stephanie R. Bridges, who is a poet, artist, author, all those great things. You're in for a treat, but we'll get with you right after this.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
What's he
Hey,
doing
it's
here?
Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you
told me to
said,
make it big.
no, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger, the better.
Take note of
Right.
our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
We're back. I am so excited about this next guest that I'm about to interview. You guys don't want to miss it. Her name is Stephanie R. Bridges. Stephanie, thank you so much for being on this show with me today. How are you doing, sis?
I am doing so well, and I am so super excited to be here with Lady Extreme.
Well, I mean, you have been traveling. Well, you know, I love you. You've been traveling the country. You've been doing all kinds of things. You have a book club. And of course, you're an author. Talk about what sparked you to become an author.
Definitely. So that is an excellent question. And I actually knew that I was going to be an author very, very young. So when I was around like 4th, 5th grade, my teacher went around to all the students and told us what it is we would become. And when she got to me, she said, oh, you should either be an author or a newscaster. And I am definitely an introvert. So I was like, I'm not getting on anybody's news. It was just like the 6 and 11 back then. So, you know, so I was like, oh, well, I'm a writer. I'm an author. And that's when I knew that I was going to be an author.
Well, you're an amazing author. The first book that I got a chance to experience from you is your poetry book. You're also a phenomenal poet. Let's talk about your books. Let's talk about you as a artist, period, because you are in this span. You're in the gamut of things. You are an artist, a fashion guru, an author. I mean, you do it all. You have a book club where you help educate and inspire other authors. You help people with grants and things of that nature. So you are a person that definitely likes elevating people. But let's talk about the first book, your poetry book, and how that came about.
Yes, definitely. So I'm a little embarrassed about this fact. And before I share it with you, I'm going to say I tell people all the time I'm a poet. But before I wrote the book of poetry, I was not a big fan of poetry. I know. So I really considered it like it wasn't actually writing. It was just, like a little side thing that people do. And my goal, even to this day, is to be a novelist. Okay. But God was like, okay, Miss Novelist, while you working on that, why don't you write this poem? And I wrote one poem after another, and that is the book that was inspired by God. That is the book that was written by God. So you meet different writers and authors, and they say God gave it to me. God gave me that book, and not only did He give me that book, He gave me a love and a respect for poets and spoken word artists. Like, I can't do what a lot of folk do. We all in, different lanes and different genres, but I love being a poet, and that's what inspired. It was Jesus.
Well, speaking of, can you give us a short poetry that you have so we can hear this phenomenal girl that I know of? So.
Yes, definitely. I would love to share. So this is a poem that I wrote entitled Butterflies. And here we go. Caterpillars dance as they yearn for the chance to be wrapped in warmth and experience metamorphosis. Cocoons unravel and new spirits travel far from the sentinel. It's an emotional fright, fight, flight. Butterflies realize their dreams when they spread their wings and fly away, up, high away, beyond the horizons of disbelief.
You're so amazing. I love your voice. Listen, you guys are listening to Stephanie R. Bridges. You don't want to miss. We have so much more to talk about, but we'll be right back after this.
I am the father of a 9-year-old little girl and a 6-year-old little boy, and I find fatherhood both relentlessly challenging and relentlessly rewarding. Both of our children came to us in amazing ways. My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much, from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. It really is so special, and boy, is it exhausting. One thing that I fear about being a parent is the future for my children, because I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings. But I'm also hopeful that the future holds a more inclusive and compassionate world for them. And I know that they're going to make the world a better place.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris or Rome, but I wanna go home. Maybe surrounded by a million people, I still feel all alone. Just wanna go home. Oh, I miss you, you know. Let me go home. I've had my run, baby, I'm done. I gotta go home. It'll all be alright. I'll be home tonight. I'm coming back home.
Así es como se ve la presión alta. Ayude a prevenir un derrame cerebral. Hable con su médico para crear un plan de prevención que funcione para usted. Visite bajesupresión.org.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Listen, you guys got a chance to hear from Stephanie R. Bridges, a phenomenal poet, but we're going to talk about the totality of her. There's so many other areas. Stephanie, let's talk about you as the fashionista and how that is playing a role in you being able to get information out about education, books, and everything that you do, because, girl, you code. So let's talk about that. What made you get involved in fashion?
Yes, definitely. So, of course, I have another little story. I am a storyteller, so I have another little story about fashion. And actually, this started before I knew I was going to be a writer and an author. So when I was little, like many, I would go into my mother's closet and I would get all dressed up and I would, put her shoes on. And then I would make my way downstairs to the living room and I would entertain everyone, with my fashions. And I would try to, tell jokes. I thought I was a little Carol Burnett too. So look, I'm really aging myself. So that is what I would do. And so I've always had a love for fashion and, design and the aesthetic just in general. But it was not until 2020, COVID, Aunt Corona. She sat me down. We talked about all that traveling. I was so super excited about traveling and doing different things in 2020. But she was like, nah, sis, you gonna sit down and you're gonna do your fashion. And so I was very trepidatious. I was nervous. I didn't want to just come out and be like, look, you guys, look, I saw something that said, don't be afraid to be seen trying. And so that is what I had to do. And in my initial photos and pictures, I would get my children. I have 4 children. And I would say, okay, come take some pictures of me. And then when that one would get tired and start rolling their eyes and be like, dang, I would text the other one and be like, come on down, come take some pictures of me. And so that was, my start. But it is something that has always been a part of me. And I like to think of it like with my writing, with being an author, it's in my DNA. That's my cross. It's not always easy. It doesn't always feel good. Some days I've tried to quit writing so many times, but it's something that I have to do. I must do. It's a part of me. But with fashion, it's just fun. I get to, play in clothes and have a good time. And if nothing else, if I say nothing else, and please hear these words, be who you are. We get so caught up in wanting to be who other people think we should be or who we think other people would approve of or like or nod their head to. Be who you are. Be who God created you to be. And he created me to play in clothes and entertain people. Is that right?
Absolutely. I think that you're absolutely amazing. If you, and you walk in it with such elegance and grace, even more so, it feels good to say I have a fashion poet author in my group of sister friends. So you are definitely that sister all the way through and through. Listen, as you guys heard, it's all right to play in your clothes. It's all right to have a good time and learn what you like and what looks good on you. Yes. But you know what? We're going to take a break right after this, but we're going to come back with Stephanie R. Bridges right after this.
Spending time outdoors has never felt more valuable. Whether it's exploring nature or relaxing in your yard, let's do it responsibly. Before going out, check for closures and fire restrictions. Practice social distancing, even when outside and on the trail. Back at home, if burning yard debris, keep your pile small. And no matter where you are, be sure to properly extinguish any outdoor fire. Drown, stir, drown, feel. We're all in this together. Help keep our safe places safe.
Hi.
Hi. Patience. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back, you guys. have heard it from my sister friend Stephanie R. Bridges. You got a chance to hear her poetry. You got a chance to hear about her fashion. Now we're going to talk about you as an author. Stephanie, I mean, sweetheart, you have plenty of books on this table. You have fulfilled what your teacher said that you was going to do. Let's talk about your books. Let's name the books. And just talk about all these great books that I have in my house.
Yes, definitely. You are such a wonderful supporter. I appreciate you so much. So the first book that I wrote and published was I Spat, and that is the book of poetry. And that's actually an acronym for In Spirit, Power, and Truth, which is also the name of my publishing company. And then I'd have the 4 children's books. So the first one is If I Were Part of the Animal Kingdom. That's about my oldest son, Khalil. My favorite color is blue, about my daughter, Asha. And then Fight the Air Guy, about my youngest son, Jelani. And Can We All Just Get Along is about my baby, Nandi. And so I had to get all those done because Nandi was waiting on her book. She was like, where's mine? When's it coming out? And then I have Seeking and Securing Individual Artist Grants and Other Funding. So as an artist, sometimes we create what I like to call struggle art. It's beautiful art. It's, well received and well read. But when you're creating it, when you're making it, it's a struggle. And I wanted to not create struggle art. And so I knew I had to not only be an artist, but I had to be in business. So I was like, I need to go to some conferences. I need to go to some workshops. I need to invest. I need to do this for my publishing company. And so one of the things that I did is I actually invested in going to Las Vegas to a conference. And I let the host know, Joylyn M. Ross, that I received a grant. Because even though I was like, I need to invest, my pockets was like, invest where, sis? So I was like, I need to get a grant. So I got a grant. And as business people, they kind of share ways that you can monetize the things that you're doing. And she was like, come up and speak. And so I went up and spoke, and people were like, well, where's the book? You an author, right? I was like, I got the book. It's coming out, so I went home and did a book real quick. And then it was an ebook, and now it's the paper book available. So I also do some grant stuff. Look at God. Is it? Okay. So back to art. That's the story of my life. Now, this is a very important book, and, especially during this time as well. It's a book of short stories, but it definitely speaks to mental health, mental illness, mental wellness, and all things in between. And so when people say, there's that person in the family, I'm that person in the family. I'm that person in the family that struggles with my mental health. It could be daily, it could be weekly, it could be monthly, but my little friend depression always come back. Sometimes I'll be like, I beat it, I'm good, So it was so important for me to share some of my stories, and some of it's my stories, and some of it is other people's stories, and some of it is made up, but they're little short snippets that can start the conversation, because we, especially in the Black community, have to start the conversation about mental health.
That's the thing that I love about you. You hit on so many things, and not only are you a great author, you also help authors become successful. Yes, you traveled to Las Vegas. I remember that, but you said you had to speak. But that's not only you speak on so many platforms. But talk about the Stephanie Bridges Book Club and how people can be a part of the book club, and how people can even get a chance to contact you and be a part of, and buy all your books.
Definitely. So the Bridges Book Club is an amazing group of authors, aspiring authors. Nicole is part of the Bridges Book Club, and you are so supportive, having platforms like this, but you would be amazed. Everybody is amazing. Everyone is doing something, whether they have a blog, whether, they're an author, whether they have a podcast, whether they're hosting conferences. So it's just such an amazing group of individuals. And I tell everyone, you might hear about it from me. You might learn about it, because of me. But once you get in, you're going to be like, I didn't come for her. I came for such and such and so, and so many relationships built. So you can join the Bridges Book Club on Facebook. So if you have a Facebook account, you can just type in Bridges Book Club and join it there. If you want to join as an author, you can go to bridgesbookclub.com, and it's a nominal fee, and you can be part of the group as an author. But we're going to have interviews and blog posts and send out email blasts and, do all that marketing stuff. Excuse me, that we need as authors to be done.
And if somebody want to connect with you to purchase your books, how can they do that?
Yes, definitely. So I got like 2011 websites. So for my books specifically, you can check me out at stephaniebridges.com, and you will find all of my books there. If you're interested in grants for your business, for your artistry, for your entrepreneurship, then you can go to securethegrant.com. And then, of course, bridgesbookclub.com. Oh, follow me on IG at stephanier.bridges. Follow me on Instagram where you'll see lots of different fashion looks and where I'm having lots of fun. So yeah, check me out there too.
You're so amazing. And thank you for just being who you are and bringing up the conversations just in so many areas, supporting your children, supporting mental health, supporting the areas of the arts, and also telling people how they can get some money for being an artist.
Yes.
You're a gift beyond words. And I'm just so glad you took the time to be on this segment, on this show with me. Now, before we leave, I have to have you do another poetry, if you will, please. Just do another poetry for your sister and the audience.
Yes, I would love to. So I'm actually going to do one from this book, and it's Lord Have Mercy. Now, when I wrote this poem, I wasn't fully into like the fashion thing. I wasn't doing it, but it's amazing how they kind of just, go together, go hand in hand. So I'm going to actually read this one. My destiny is tied to my skirt. So daily it flows with breezy blessings from above, sticks tight to my thighs, revealing my desires for highs when I'm feeling low, and pencils in my agenda for meetings that take me places I never knew a hemline could go. All black, everything is the uniform I love. It is good for the form, but even more so the forum of how I am set up. Deep-hued, ample-hipped, big-lipped, nappy, naturally coiled. I smell like raw sugar, shea butter, and virgin African soil. I am owed recompense for my work, do well, welled up in my throat until I choke on the lies, spewed right in my eyes when they know I am the cord that ties all things to life. Gonna make me change my skirt? Layers of fabric covering skin, knees, bruised shins, ashy thighs, connected to brittle hips broken in by age and the weight of chains. But my skirt, like my story, like my song, is beauty, full of glory. Even those that despise that compliments tumble, stumble from gripped lips and jealous eyes, set with gangrene. My skirt may change, but the fact remains that I am the creator, designer, originator of dress. So address me by my name. Lord, have mercy. I am Goddess.
You guys heard it here on Let's Talk. My girl, my friend, I love it. Stephanie R. Bridges, as you heard, that poem was absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate you again for being on this show. Thank you again for tuning in to Let's Talk with your girl, Nicole, Lady Extreme Carter. We look forward to you guys coming back for another segment. I promise you, I'm the same lane. Please don't hand me snacks, because now I got to hold it here because I got my contacts in. I'll hold it down the street. Oh, I can see now. Okay. That was, what do you think? Y'all think I was okay? What is it? I don't know why when I get, what is that? I'm nervous. I don't know. Okay. Hear that? I hope you didn't hear that. Lord, that was terrible.
That's what I do.
I was like,
make a little noise, make a little sound.
get up. I was like, because it was